Well, one of the biggest thing is all of the legal court cases that we've been winning since 1982, when Canada patriated the Constitution. We were a colony of Great Britain right up until 1982, and we were governed by the British North America Act of 1867. And when they patriated the Constitution in 1982, there's a very important section put in there, Section 35. Existing Aboriginal treaty rights are recognized and affirmed. So, was it a full box of rights or empty box of rights? The debate still goes on, but we've been using the Supreme Court system and the justice system to fill up that box, Section 35, and we've been winning. Our inherent rights and treaty rights to land, treaty rights to hunt, fish, trap, gather, all the above, education, healthcare. We've been winning court cases, so that's a very important piece, no question. The other one, the breakthrough issues in Canada a lot are the pieces of legislation that have been developed that, as National Chief back in the 2014 to 2021, there's three very important pieces of legislation. One was Bill C-91, which is the Indigenous Languages Revitalization Act. And that was important for us because we didn't want the residential school system to win. It was a genocide of our people, trying to kill our languages. And you need language. It's one of the key identifiable items for self-determination to be recognized. You need your own language, your own land, your own laws, your own people, your own identifiable forms of government. So language was key. So C-91 was one piece of legislation in place. That's there. C-92, child welfare. We have 40,000 First Nations kids in the welfare system. Not acceptable. So we said, First Nations, develop your own laws and exert your jurisdiction and look after your kids. Make sure they're immersed in their culture and language in healthy, safe, loving, caring homes. C-92. And then the big one, the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. This was passed by the United Nations in 2007. Unfortunately, 4 countries put caveats on it in 2007. Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and USA. It took up until 2016 before Canada removed their caveats. And then I said, well, big deal, you got a UN declaration. What are you doing in Canada to give it legal effect? Again, through strong advocacy, Canada put in place a law in 2021 to give legal effect to the UN declaration. And so it's a federal piece of legislation in place now, plus an action plan. And that's very important. That's huge, huge things, because all the policies and legislation in Canada have to be brought in line with the UN declaration. And that's a monumental piece. No other country in the world has done what Canada has done to do that. So there's some pretty big changes right there.